We like to see representation there, and the meeting is being recorded. If you'd like to be unmuted, please raise your hand physically or the Zoom hand. And again, enter your name in the Zoom window so we can readily see you on the Zoom here. And we'll get started. We'll get started with an opening prayer. Consul General, you have somebody in mind for that?
Yes. They say lay hands on no one suddenly, but today I'm going to lay hands on Howard Kalash. Sir, please open in a word of prayer for us.
We'll have to ask for him to be unmuted if you press.
You have to be unmuted.
I am.
Yeah.
Father God, we gather here to encourage, elevate, and uplift one another in the Jamaican community. We pray for those in need. We pray for those that are currently recovering. We ask you for your strength and guidance to basically evolve Jamaica to be more resilient, more independent, and more loving and enjoyable life, so that we all can enjoy the wonderful planet that you have given us. In your name, amen.
Amen. And one good thing about this is that we just call on people arbitrarily. He was given no preparation at all. He's probably going to call and cuss me after. But well, thank you very much, Howard, for the opening prayer. And I mentioned earlier we have Gordon Brown and another lady. Forgive me, I didn't remember the name, but
Lisa Watt, yes.
Lisa Watt, who will be speaking about the damage they had with their church in Montego Bay and giving an opportunity to support. And we will also have Carolene from the Aquatic Association of Jamaica. They have their event coming up, and she'll tell you how we as a community will go and rally behind our Jamaican team coming here. So we have a lot in store, and I'm gonna ask Dr. Jones to just hand over now so we can bring in Dr. Semaj.
All right. Today we have Dr. Leachim Semaj. He's a renowned Jamaican psychologist, author, and transformation facilitator known for his work in personal development and cultural identity. He'll speak about anger management. Dr. Semaj?
And that is a short version, Dr. Semaj. You could have gone in a very long version of introduction, but I want to publicly thank you for your contributions to Jamaica and the region over the years. They are significant, wide and significant, and it is an honor again to have you on the program and sharing your insights, sir. Over to you.
Thank you. I'm in the honor to share the space. And folks, you can find me at thesemajmindspa.com. I publish every day. And half of my audience is North American, and then the other half is Jamaica and the rest of the world. Over 50 countries are tuned in every day to the thoughts that I try to share. A lot of stuff. How do you reimagine this thing called Jamaica? And I start to say Jamaica is a state, pause, of mind. It comes to you wherever you are, constantly. Now, this thing, anger, folks, is crucial. Anger is one letter away from danger. Just think of it, huh? Remove the D and you're left with anger. Add the D and you're suddenly in a totally different place and time. Everyday lives are changed because people feel anger. But more than that, they feel it, but they did not know how to manage it, how to handle it. Now, anger is not the problem. It's natural, it's biological, it's informational. Danger, however, comes when the uncontrolled expression, the misinterpretation, the poor timing, the displacement. Anger is energy. Danger is mismanaged anger. So what we're talking about, there's a trigger, there's a thought, there's an emotion, your body responds. increased heart rate, muscle tension, adrenaline kicks in. Anger prepares you to defend, to protect, to react. But without control, this can be a very dangerous thing. Anger grows when the ego feels threatened. Expectations are violated. Communication breaks down. Past pain is triggered. I can think of a couple events recently in Jamaica. In both papers over the weekend, I can think of some events in North America where the report we got, something was triggered, something was said. And I like to put something else on record. We talk about men's violence behavior, but I do not exclude the women. There's also emotional and verbal expression of anger and violence, and the two tend to work together. You see, if the man tries to out-talk the woman, we call him Mama Man and Miss Lashy. So she used the tools. And by the way, folks, as a developmental psychologist from the beginning, by girls are 5, they learn something called malice. Come and talk to her. Come and stop talk to them. And it's something they master. Men use the tools that they have, physical and weapons. We're not advocating either. Both have to be managed. So we have work to do. Most anger is about the present moment. It's about accumulated, unresolved experience. Just think of how many things something bubbled up. A Jamaican said, and a same day bucket go a well, bottom drop out. We talk about the straw that broke the camel's back. Something happened and the person snapped. But we have to be conscious of these things because it happens so quickly. Now, using the time quickly, there are 10 steps I want to share with you for diffusing and containing. 1, recognize the early signals. Jaws tighten, voice raise, breathing increase. You can't control what you don't detect. So once you feel it coming on, you feel yourself getting angry. So you now start engaging the brakes. You feel it coming on. 2, step number 2, hit pause. Do nothing. Create a space between the stimulus and the response. The pause is your power. You ever heard the saying? Your silence may be misinterpreted, but can't be misquoted. As a person, even my personal life, if I'm in a situation and I'm feeling stimulus coming on, I stop talking. Or I slow down my speech because you want to weigh every word because you may have to eat them later on. Step 3, control your breathing. Folks, breathing and life are synonymous. How did we start life? With that first breath. How do we end life? And I saw him take his last breath. Breathing is life. Slow inhale. Count to 4. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. It's your superpower. If you have to go through a couple cycles of that, while you pause, inhale through the nostril, 4. Hold for 2, exhale for 6. Number 4, name the emotion. Name it. What are you feeling? By the way, most of us are emotionally illiterate. We don't know the words to describe our emotion. It feel like, I feel that you don't love me. No. That's not emotion. That's why I would love draw a Gregory eyes activity. You can put on a Gregory and Gregory can express what you're feeling. But name the emotion. If only to yourself. I feel disrespected. I feel ignored. Name it. Naming it reduces the intensity. Name it. Number 5, check the story you're telling yourself. Are they really attacking you or am I interpreting it that way? Is it the words? Is it the way I said it? Is it how I said it? It is because I shouldn't have said it here and now. Identify the situation. 6, lower your voice and your body language. Now, you realize everything so far is about you? We're not telling the other person what to do. No, the only person you have responsibility for is yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
The only person. Lower your voice and your body language. Calm tones. Relax shoulders. Your body can de-escalate your mind. Mind and body are in constant communication. The mind takes cues from the body. If the body is relaxed, the mind says, hold on, hold on. So we are going to suffer. So when I said silence, deep breathing, lower your voice. Sometimes better not say nothing. Your silence may be misunderstood, but it can't be misquoted. 7, this is critical. Delay your response. Let me think about it. Time reduces the emotion distortion. No, my wife don't like that one. Well, I want to answer no. I said, no, I cannot answer an emotional issue in the same context it's being raised. I have to give a chance for the emotions to subside. Let's talk about it later when there's less emotional. Because what I want you to do, is to respond, not react. Because chances are, if you react, you're going to react wrong. You're going to say something that you regret. Delay your response. Let me think about it.
Yeah, Dr. Semaj,
Yes.
I know you have a few more steps, but I do know that people often think that being quiet and delaying the response may be a sign of weakness if they're not reacting. So I want you to talk about that, but
you see,
we have a few
that's
more
critical.
steps left.
What I don't make people bait you. People say things to bait you because they know that's the trigger. We have some trigger words in Jamaica, We have some trigger expression. The one, let's SWM. Everybody can feel in that one. The last one's your mama. Once you say that, them there are fighting words.
That's true.
Or if you call somebody, where you are imputing issues regarding their sexuality. No, but we know we have those trigger things built into our society. We should know that by now. It's them baiting. And you can't tell nobody after. Well, it's because so many things. I say to myself, look, at least 70% of the people sitting in prison right now, this minute. If you ask them, boss, wait, boy, if I did just walk away.
So do you feel there's a certain group that has more severe consequences to their actions than other groups?
Oh, yes. If you are on a group that people always suspect you and expect you so that you don't get a pass. The evidence indicate that both in the United States especially, Black teenagers and white teenagers are involved in the same kinds of behaviors as teens. But guess what? The white teens, police hold them, call daddy, daddy comes, talk to the police, and they go home with daddy. They hold the black teen, chances are a parent doesn't turn up. They end up in remand, they end up in approved school, and the cycle just continues. Some people still get a break, So delay your response. They may call you names, They may say things about you, but you hear. I heard a wonderful a colleague of mine, talked about a particular artist he used to manage who always get involved in all kind of mix up and all kind of thing. The artist said, boy, I have to defend my street credits, And let me call the name of the other person now. My colleague, the manager, said, listen, how come Sean Paul don't have those problems? You see, Sean Paul don't even depend street credits because Sean Paul don't need credits. He have cash. So when you try to build street credits, getting yourself in all kind of trouble, not good enough. Number 8, shift from reaction. Shift from reaction to understanding. So I ask, help me understand what you meant by that. Just help me understand. I'm not quite clear what you're saying. Curiosity dissolves confrontation. Because you're turning what the person may have said as an abuse, you're turning it into a conversation. Let's talk about it. Why you felt that way? Huh? Let's raise the level. Huh? Let's raise the level. See if we can raise the level and lower the anger. Number 9, express, don't suppress. Use things that I feel, not you always, no. Own it. Own your feelings. I feel. Healthy expression prevents buildup. I feel angry. I feel terrified. I feel insulted. The person may, boss, I mean, feel insulted, but I don't know where you take that way. I don't really mean it that way, the boss. Number 10, exit if necessary. Walk away. Reset. Leaving is not weakness. It is strategic control. So 10 steps. If you can just practice these things, it starts, you don't need to get it. It doesn't need to escalate. But so many times, think of the consequences. Think of the consequences of what would happen. What are the worst case scenario? There are many instances. Sometimes you see the problem even before it starts. Leave the environment. I stop here.
Thank you, Dr. Semaj. I do have a question in the chat. Wonderful, wonderful comments in the chat, by the way. They're really, what she's talking about really resonates with everybody. So Camille Heron has a question. She said, as a community, how do we course correct for the next generation in terms of diffusing situations, conflict resolutions, and removing the stigma from some words or terms so they're less triggering?
It's going to start with the last part. It's going to be hard to change them, huh? Because some of these things are hardwired. They're hardwired. All you can do is what you do to it, how you interpret it. At least learn, listen, it's a trigger word. It is nothing personal. It is something we use to hurt each other. Now, where do we start? One of my most favorite expressions and observation, home is the first school. Parents are the first teachers. Everything after is called extra lesson. Extra lesson. So that when people talk about the issues that we're dealing, but the children nowadays, the children today, is who raised them and they raised themselves. So many of unknown. And I'm quoting my good friend, Dr. Carolene Cooper, spend so much time trying to give your children what you never got, that you end up not giving them what you got. Children need your presence more than need your presence. So that we can't go around that one. Home is the first school. Parents are the first teachers. What after that is extra lesson. So that listen, children learn, the mommy and daddy not talking, and for about 2-3 days, them to say just, negative vibes and cold shoulder, and she bring the food and just put it down on him, said nothing, never said thanks. And then by the 3rd day, you see one day him walk home with a little piece of charm. We bring this for you. And just put it down. And she walk past it 2 times and then eventually she take it up and say, all right, I don't really want it, but since you bring it. And so they learn. They're learning that teeth and tongue, what Jamaicans say, teeth and tongue must meet. But then what you do with it after the fact. So we learn from parents. We learn from those around us. And you can also learn from the bad, I heard a colleague of mine said, my father was my role model. And he paused, of what not to be.
That's a good point. Dr. Semaj, do you have a link to your books?
Yes. I mean, let me first apologize to everybody. The depth of this subject is one that we really need a longer time You know, this is just to give a taste today, but you gave far more. We have the 10 steps. I'm going to ask my producers to just make sure those 10 steps are in the chat so persons can follow up on it, and books. Dr.
Okay.
Semaj,
Put it. I'm gonna
put in
either
the
today
chat.
or tomorrow. I'm gonna write about it. So I put
Okay.
in the chat the semajmindspa.com. That's where you find me every day. I'm gonna do I have a radio show on a Monday night at fitfmja.com. So anywhere in the universe on a Monday night at 6 o'clock, anywhere. And I've decided that's gonna be the topic for the show on Monday. Book.
Excellent.
The best is yet to come. The best is
Yes.
yet to come is my book on healthy aging and retirement, and it's available on Amazon. Also, Bodyworks is also available on Amazon, and the other books on Amazon. But the semajmindspa.com is where you find me every day, and I publish every single day.
We'll put that in the chat. Thank you so much, Dr. Semaj. We did.
Thank you very much. Can we get some claps in the
Yes.
chat for Dr. Semaj? We really
Dr.
appreciate
Semaj.
Thank
this.
you.
Totally enlightening, uplifting, and instructive. And
Uh-huh.
guys, we're bringing the best of the best here on this our weekly call. So I hear people say we need you back already, Dr. Semaj. We're not even going to allow you to respond because we have to run to the next speaker.
Yes.
We're going to invite you to the lecture series. We discussed that before. And again, thank you so much.
Yes.
You're free to stay on, Doc, of course. And the next speaker we have is
CG, if you don't mind. You also can go to Consul General's YouTube page, and this will be played again on that YouTube page to get all the 10 steps. I'll put it in the chat.
I did want to make quick mention that the former Honorable Mrs. Beverly Ford, she did have a question for Dr. Semaj, but they can connect through that link that he's going to share in the chat. I don't know if you want to unmute her very quickly, Jason. But we do have a few more speakers lined up. Jason? Not sure. Okay, so we do ask you to raise your hand to unmute. Oh, here we are.
Go ahead, Ms. Ford.
Miss, you have to unmute yourself. She is former Honorary Consul for Jamaica out of Houston, Texas. You have to unmute yourself. Press the button.
I did not have a question.
Oh, okay. Thought you were raising your hand. Sorry. All right. Thank you, Mrs. Ford. We have our next speaker, Mr. Marlon Hill. Mr. Marlon Hill is a respected community leader and former Jamaica Advisory Board member representing the Southern United States with a strong focus on diaspora engagement. He was truly instrumental in his work with Hurricane Melissa, the relief effort in South Florida. He'll speak about the Diaspora Conference. Mr. Hill.
Dr. J, how are you?
Doing all right, thanks.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you.
Excellent, excellent. I want to thank the CG for having me on today. I am on a strict time constraint here on the community update. And so I'm going to give everyone a quick overview of my perspective as a former Jamaican Diaspora Advisory Board member for the Southern U.S. I'm not the first CG. Attorney Delia Walker Huntington was the first. I came after, and then there was Wayne Golding, Dr. Sue Davis. Then you had Mr. Alan Cunningham, Dr. Alan Cunningham, and then you have Mr. Gracie, right? So I want everyone to drop in the chat. When did your family leave Jamaica to live and work overseas? Drop in the chat the year that you became a part of the Jamaican diaspora. My year was 1985, 14 years old. I left St. George's College in Fort Farm. My immediate family moved to the United States in 1985. But the Jamaican diaspora part of my family was really from the 1960s, when my first aunt of one of three sisters, Dr. Jones, came to New York in the 1960s, right? So the Jamaican diaspora is for any person of Jamaican descent, first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth or fifth, that has left Jamaica and is living in another country across the world. Right now, we have about 2.8 million people that are in Jamaica thereabouts. But truth be told, we have about 5+ conservatively million Jamaicans across the world. So we really have a population, Dr. Jones, of about 7 million on the planet. And so whether you were born in Jamaica or not, this makes you a part of the Jamaican diaspora experience. And ultimately, before 2002, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, through its Consular Department, the Southern United States in Miami or in New York or in DC, worked with Jamaican nationals in the different countries, whether it could be a high commission, you needed a passport. So there was really no national diaspora policy before 2002. And those discussions began under the government at that time. I believe it was Prime Minister Patterson, you had Senator Delano Franklin. They formulated the policy officially in Parliament. Right, so in Parliament, you know that you have both sides of the House, you have representatives from both parties, and the responsibility of our government is to develop policy and also to pass laws and to pass a budget related to that policy. Any government where you're at, whether you're in Texas or you're in New York or you're in Georgia or you're in California or you're in Canada, the responsibility of the government is to pass policy that helps to advance the country in a positive direction, right? The Jamaican Diaspora Conference that is coming up on June 14th to the 18th is the 11th conference, right? So this policy, the first conference was 2004, I attended. So this is 22 years ago. So I was 22 years younger. Everybody on this call was 22 years younger. And think about it. Were you engaged? Were you in the diaspora at that time, 2004? Some of us were, and some of us may not have been, right? So the conference is held every 2 years. It's a great opportunity to connect with Jamaicans all across the world. The first conference had a couple hundred people. The last conference had several hundred people, maybe even a couple thousand. And the first conference was held in Kingston at the Jamaica Conference Center in downtown Kingston. And so why should you attend this conference? Dr. Jones, I want everybody to go to bjdc.mfaft.gov.jm. Let me repeat, bjdc.mfaft.gov.jm. So the policy of engaging with our diaspora, us, our family, right? Well, however perfect and imperfect we are, wherever we are in the world, we're part of this extraordinary country, this extraordinary nation called Jamaica, right? We're batting way above our weight class of 7 million people when we're acting like we're 20 million people, right? Part of the conference's charge is to connect us, bring us together, those who are in healthcare together, those who are in education, those who are investors, those who are artists and cultural caretakers, those of us who are in law, those of us who are in science and academia, right? To bring us together to talk about things that we care about. And so this is the primary conduit of the conference, is to recommend policies that we want our government, both government and opposition, to put into policy, put into law, and find the money to make it happen, right? If we want to expand this conferences in June, it's about partnerships. It's about rebuilding a more resilient Jamaica, building back better. We just finished out having the most historic storm in mankind, Dr. Jones. Imagine that. And the recovery is still undergoing. The storm passed by the convention center where the conference is going to be held on June 14th, less than 7 months ago, the eye of the storm. And here we are now organizing the 11th biennial conference in Jamaica. And the reason why you need to go is that you need some fresh air. You need yourself a plate of curry goat, a plate of stewed peas and some ackee and sawfish. You need to hear your music. You need to connect with other Jamaicans across the world, hear what they're doing, hear what their challenge is with. Are they being challenged with anger management? Or they are doing things to find their joy, right? What is your friend in Ethiopia saying? Or your Jamaican friend from Costa Rica or Panama? Or your Jamaican colleague from France? or your Jamaican colleague in Houston, where Mrs. Ford and the rest of the diaspora family is there. It's a great opportunity to not only connect, but also to learn what is happening, not only in Jamaica, but what's also happening in the diaspora. Another reason why you should attend, the last conference I attended, I got my passport renewed, I got my TRN number, I was able to sort out the pension for my mom and her payments. I was able to sort out some real estate issues, some property that we have in St. Catherine. All of those services were on site at the last conference. You were able to learn about opportunities to invest. I was able to open up an account with the Jamaica Stock Exchange, all right there at the conference in the 3 days that we are there. What should you expect? You're going to check in on June 14th. There's going to be probably some social activities. Try and find a hotel or Airbnb near to the convention center. When you go to the website and the chat, you'll be able to know the official hotels that are there. I already registered. The early bird rate is $180, right? And our Jamaican Diaspora Council, which is represented, you elected those persons in the different regions recently. And then the ministry appoints 16 other people from across the world that make up the Jamaican Diaspora Council. When you go to that website, you can find out who those people are. You can reach out to them. You can ask them questions about what are your plans to connect in your region, and make suggestions as to what should be on the agenda as well. The last thing that you're going to also expect at a conference, you're going to be connecting and engaging with the highest levels of the government and opposition that will be present. You'll be able to shake their hands, look them in the eye, ask them questions, make suggestions, offer a resource, find out ask them a question. How much money have we raised, Minister, for disaster recovery? Where has the money been spent, Minister? Can you provide me a report, Minister? I mean, this is an opportunity to directly ask these types of questions, because the government has provided this avenue of engagement for us. It's not an independent organization. It's all through the ministry.
Or you could use the opportunity to commend the leadership for the work they're doing, which many a times we tend not to do. We tend to go to something that, boy, where's this, where's that? And forget that we have human beings in leadership who are executing as well. So we can also commend them. That does interject in there, Marlon. Continue.
Totally agree with you. Totally agree with you, CG. That is a given, right? Okay. It's an open forum, not only to praise, but also to recommend, and also to suggest, and also to volunteer and raise your hand. There'll be a Jamaican Diaspora Day of Service on the last day on June 18th, where there will be a number of community service activities that you'll be able to participate in. So you arrive on the 14th and you leave on the 18th, or you want to stay. This is a great way to support Jamaica by going down as an attendee, support the economy, but also an opportunity to do some great networking and exploration of business opportunities.
Good point, Mr. Hill. Great overviews. I think that's really what's pressing. What happens each day at the conference, and you're able to tell us that. We have somebody in the chat who asked, who attended a prior conference and wanted to know what the follow-up, what the results were from that conference. So I guess the question is, the conference is held, but is there a follow-up? Are we closing the loop on topics?
Yeah, right. Ambassador Franz Hall is the conference director for this 11th annual conference. I will defer to the government as to reporting out from the last conference, the last 2 years. That's a question that you can ask, and I suspect that information is going to be presented at the conference floor coming up on June 14th to the 18th.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hill.
Thank you. Let me use this opportunity as well to commend Marlon. Over the years, we have supported many islands in terms of their recovery with hurricanes. And then it was our turn over the last 2 years, Hurricane Beryl, and then Hurricane Melissa. And, Marlon and I worked very, very closely, especially as related to Global Empowerment Mission, which we brought to Jamaica, and they have delivered over $14 million worth of aid directly to communities. And we have also worked, the community, we have also worked with Food for the Poor, and other organizations. And, just rough calculations, over 40 million from the region has gone to Jamaica supporting. And we thank everybody, whether you give $1, whether you give $1 million like the Miami Heats, everything is appreciated. All the organizations who came out, thank you. So your support, Marlon, thank you for your work to the community over the years, sir. It is well appreciated. You have been a true bastion of support for the Jamaican diaspora, and I want to publicly recognize you, sir, and ask everybody in the group to send some claps. This gentleman works tirelessly for the community, believe you me. And he was a massive right hand as the Consul General as we had to lead this community. And this community, I'm sure we provided the most relief, not beating our chest, but just in terms of proximity to Jamaica. Naturally, we would have had the most relief aid, and Marlon was right there day to day supporting and providing good guidance and support. So I want to thank you.
Thank you,
Sir
CG.
Marlon.
I just want to answer a question from the chat that if you have suggestions about the conference or you're looking for something specific that you are, I think that if you're going to come to the conference, be very intentional about why you're coming and communicate that. It may be a business issue, it may be a family issue, it may be you want to network with other people in healthcare or other people in law. Be very intentional as the program is being developed as we speak. The Consul General is probably on a call every week, planning the agenda. You should contact your Global Jamaican Diaspora Council representative and give them a suggestion, because they have meetings. You have a Global Jamaican Diaspora Youth Council as well, which I think is a very important component of the conference, is to get the next generation involved in our community engagement. Just think about it. The first conference was 22 years ago, right? What if we didn't have this opportunity to engage with each other? How would we really connect with each other?
That's a good point.
Officially, right? So even though it's not perfect, in the sense of many countries don't have this.
That's right.
And so the fact that the government, multiple governments actually, have continued this consistency of engagement is something that we really have to clap the government or our government for continuing to keep this door
and
open.
Successive governments, guys, not this government and the opposition when they were in power, both committed to the process. So we want to recognize this advancement by our country, Jamaica, right? And it's a very good initiative, and everybody should be a part of it. So, Marlon, thank you again.
No problem. I'm happy to answer any questions offline.
And the links are in the chat, and if you have any questions, you can answer them in the chat or offline. And along the lines of the hurricane relief effort, I just want to make quick mention in the chat. You'll see a few events that are going on in Houston, but one is a mission trip by Bethel Family Church that's happening in May. For anyone who wants to go to Bethel Town in Jamaica, there is a need for volunteers, and that trip will start in May. Give you the information, a contact, or who to contact if you're interested, and some upcoming events. And without further ado, we do have two more speakers, but I want to also give a shout out to Colin Blackwood. Colin Blackwood is on. We have Dr. Brian of the Jamaica. He's the Honor Consul for Atlanta. And then Steve Higgins has a number of concerts. Yes,
is he on the call?
He was on earlier.
Oh, he was on earlier. Okay.
All right. So just to mention a few folks on the call. If we didn't get your name, we appreciate you being here. Just give a shout out in the chat. And with that,
I'm proud of you for mentioning Atlanta, Dr. Jones.
Yes. Never mentioned Texas and never mentioned Atlanta.
And if you're from another state that we have not mentioned, because we typically end up with Florida, Georgia, and Texas, right? So but if you're from any other state, please just type it in the chat too as well, so we can acknowledge you as well. I want to mention that we have our lecture series later today happening at Island Space, starting at 6 p.m. And we will have two powerful female presenters, Dr. Nikki Price, corporate leader, speaker, strategist, speaking about Master You, Impact Others, and then Patrice White, one of the top fitness coaches in Jamaica who is actually here, fitness and lifestyle coach. She'll also be presenting. And remember, our high five takes place on May 9th. We are going to be having 2,000 persons coming out to be a part of it. You don't want to miss it. If you register here today, www.jamaicahighfivkrun.com. If you register while the call is taking place, please let us know so we can acknowledge you. We are already up to 850 people registered, so we're already on track to meet our target. So please do register. Back to you, Dr. Jones.
Thank you. All right, our next speaker is Carolene Brown-Thomas, the Vice President of Aqua Sports Association of Jamaica. She's dedicated to advancing aquatic sports and athlete development. Ms. Thomas? We're not hearing you.
We have to unmute. Jason, you can unmute her.
I did.
Yeah, okay, good.
The audio is off.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we hear you now.
Can you hear me now? Okay, fantastic. So good afternoon, everyone, and sincere thanks to Consul General Oliver Mair and Dr. Nicole Bent-Jones for the kind invitation to be part of this important community update forum. It is indeed a pleasure. It's a pleasure for me to highlight artistic swimming, more popularly known as synchronized swimming. But I will take first share a little journey of the sport, and then I'll highlight our upcoming participation in the Worldwide Invitational in Coral Springs this May. So my name is Carolene Brown-Thomas, and I serve as the Vice President of Artistic Swimming at Aquatic Sports Association of Jamaica. So I think all things water sports. I am proud to represent a sport that is growing, that brings together technicality, artistry, and national pride. Artistic swimming began in Jamaica in 1998, just in Kingston, and for many years considered a niche sport and supported by limited athletes and coaches. But over the past decade, we have intentionally rebuilt a structured program, aligning it more to international standards set by World Aquatics. And today, the program supports approximately 72 artistic swimmers across Jamaica. When I say across Jamaica, I'm talking about not just Kingston. We have 3 clubs in Kingston, we have 1 in Portland, and we have 2 in Montego Bay. So our athletes are actually from as young as 6 and goes up. Right now we have up to age 19, and they can progress from what we call our novice level. And right now we have junior level athletes. And do I boast, we also have 2 male athletes. So this is reflecting also our inclusivity and diversity. So the program is actually anchored right now by our technical director, Coach Olga Novak-Shensheva, a former Olympian with over 20 years of experience, supported by a strong network of 8 coaches. We have a growing number of coaches, and we have what we call our junior coaches who are past artistic swimmers. 3 of these coaches are actually from Cuba, and we have 1 that is Chinese. So we have a Russian, we have a Chinese, and we have Cubans. So Jamaica, in all of the years, has steadily increased its presence internationally. We've competed in Carifta, Panama Aquatics, and the World Cup. We actually have international exposure. Now for today, the key highlight is our participation in the Coral Springs Worldwide Invitational Artistic Competition. Now we have a proud history. Since 2013. We had 8 athletes competing, and right now our delegation has 32 plus athletes in 2026. We have 7 coaches that supports them. Last year, we have a record to defend, because last year we had 43 medals, including 24 gold. We had Best Figures Award, and we gained the High Point Trophy for intermediate teen swimmers. So I'm telling you, we have to be on our game.
How can we support now, Carolene, as
we are great. We are grateful for right now. We have our partner is Jamaica Tourist Board, and we have some private supporters, but every miko make a moko. So what we need contribution for right now is the support for our management team in terms of transportation, hydration, snacks, and particularly we have one athlete from Montego Bay who requires approximately 800 to support airfare and accommodations. Those are the key support areas right now. And I mean, generally, we are trying to build a program. We have a vision to go to Olympics. That's our ultimate. So we want to make waves internationally. And so we're trying to build a program that supports that. I'm going to drop in the chat my contact details in there so that you can help us. And think about the help for even future, because we want to expand participation, coaching, judging, etc., and be able to compete internationally and meet our Olympic dream. So I'm going to drop it in the chat now, and feel free to reach out to me at.
Don't you want the community to come out and support you at the event and make up some noise and all of that?
Yes, your sound is not on, but Miss Carolene Brown Thomas, thank you so much for that update.
Yeah, that is really what I want.
Always been a supporter. So thank you, Consul General, for always supporting and visiting, watching. And guys, it's a free event, so there's no restriction. Bring your flags, come on out. The girls, and the boys really appreciate this. The support makes quite a difference in their performance.
When is it? When and where? When and where?
So it is Coral Springs Aquatics Complex in Coral Springs, and it's May 1 to 3.
And you'll put something in the chat, right? Just drop a link in the chat.
Just drop the link in the chat. Thank you very much.
And
Carolene, and all the best to the team.
Yeah, we have a few more minutes. I'm going to drop along the lines of what you were discussing. We do have the robotics team here in Houston, Meadowbrook robotics team. So I'm going to drop information about how you can maybe support them here while they're here April 27th to May 3rd. They're at the convention center, and contact information is in the chat.
And I wanted to just update everybody that the table tennis guy was able to head to the tournament and he played. So I've asked for him to come on and just give us an update how well he did. But the contributions made to this call assisted the young man to go and play and represent Jamaica. So big up to everybody who made a contribution. So this call is making a difference, guys. The young man would not have been able to go. So.
All right, we have one more speaker. We are just a few minutes from the hour. So we'll have a brief remark from Lisa Watt and Gordon Brown. They're active members of St. James Parish Church, committed to faith-based service and community outreach initiatives. Lisa Watt and Gordon Brown, we'll ask you to unmute and say some brief remarks.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Jones-West, and also to you, CG. I want to give you all a special shout out and express our gratitude to you for receiving us and accommodating us this afternoon and allowing us access to this incredible forum. I also want to pay tribute to the tremendous work that all of you are doing in the Jamaican diaspora. It is always incredibly moving to see how Jamaicans rally internationally to give support to their communities. Today, we're speaking with you and my colleague, Lisa Crichton-Watt, who is sitting next to me. We're members of the St. James Parish Church, part of the Anglican Diocese of Jamaica. And as I'm sure many of you have heard, we suffered incredible losses in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. 17 Anglican churches were completely destroyed. I'm sure many of you have seen the haunting images of St. John's Black River, which is a red brick church, beautiful, located on High Street. And you will have heard about the tremendous damage that was sustained by many churches. At our church, that's the St. James Parish Church located on Church Street, we also sustained major damage. but to one particular feature, which is our 3-light Palladian window, which is over 110 years old, an exquisite piece of art. And of course, as you can imagine, a piece of art of that nature, which is over 100 years old, it's difficult to find the kind of talent to replace it and to restore it. And, we conservatively estimate that it's going to cost around 110 to 120,000 US dollars to repair it. I'm going to turn the discussion over to Lisa, who's going to tell us a little bit more about the church. But I would really love to be able to share with you, CG and Dr. West and members, an image of what churches generally in Western Jamaica sustained in terms of loss and damage. And we actually have a pretty haunting video that was done by the Diocese of Jamaica, and that was narrated by the Bishop of Jamaica, telling you a little bit about what we've lost. And it's not just Anglican churches, incredible churches in, Hanover, Mount Ward Methodist Church, a lot of Moravian churches. These are not just sacrosanct places, but they are really the focal point of communities, incredible elements of our architectural heritage, and which give us a sense of space, order, and spiritual renewal. So we are really just trying to reach out to you to tell you more about what we have lost and to ask you for your support. And again, we thank you for the continuing efforts of the diaspora. We look forward to seeing you here in Montego Bay.
Good afternoon, CG and Dr. Jones and everyone else on this call. Thank you for really giving us a few minutes to tell you a little bit about this incredible church, the St. James Parish Church. We're now actually celebrating our 251st anniversary. The church started construction in 1775, and the first worship service was held on Christmas Day, 1782. It is iconic, and it is a place that is providing a worship
Lisa, could I
space.
stop you 1 second? Sorry, 1 second.
Sure.
Just want to acknowledge the I&I radio listeners, right? We haven't done it for the whole time. I know they're wrapping up the broadcast in 3 minutes. Guys, this was history. Our call now is being broadcast live on the radio, so everybody's hearing it, not just here on the Zoom. So we're taking it to another level. But I just want to say big up to all the listeners on I&I radio who tuned in with us. Back to you, Lisa.
Right. Before you start, Lisa, for those on I&I radio who wants to get information that they heard again, please go to the CG's YouTube page, which is Jamaica Consul General Updates YouTube. Just look at Jamaica Consul General Updates YouTube, and you will get all that information again and what you're going to be missing from what Lisa and Gordon are giving.
And that link is in the chat, right? I know we're closing on the hour now. So
yes, in the chat.
You have a link to share in the chat, Ms. Watt? Or
Yeah, go ahead.
You have a link to share in the chat? We're closing up on the hour now. So is there a link you
just
have?
a little longer. We're going to get a little extra time, Dr. Jones.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We will get that. We will get that information to you. But just to say, the damage that we experience is extensive. Right now, we're in the process of trying to identify. The window is actually 125 years old, built by Jones and Willis of Birmingham, England. It is very difficult to identify manufacturers of that type of stained glass now. So the process has started. We're reaching out to, for instance, Canterbury Cathedral to see if there are persons there who can guide us. So Gordon mentioned a sum of money, but we're actually not too sure until we have these persons look at the window to guide us with restoring it. But, it is so important that we address these things because preservation of the past is very important. Our track record, unfortunately, is not so good at preserving things of times gone by. But I think for the future generations, it's important because these are the foundations that they can build on. So we will actually be formalizing tours of the church. Gordon will speak a little bit to that in a moment, just for a minute.
Sure. Thank you very much. What we have done is our church is such an attraction and has been over the years, brothers and sisters, that we've actually, in collaboration with Amber Solutions, we're developing an app which allows you to do a self-guided tour of the church. So you can actually personally visit the church. We're hoping that the app will be up and running by the time of the Diaspora conference in June. But you can actually purchase the app from the Play Store when we finally launch it in May, hopefully. And that would actually give you a 15-minute video that tells you the story of the history of the church, the monuments in it, including the same Palladian stained glass window. So that's a phenomenal way for you to be able to support the efforts by simply buying the app and watching the video, even if you can't personally do the tour, which is self-guided. So we want to commend that to you. And this address would not be complete without me giving a special shout out to my old friend and fellow campionite, Sharon Williams Christie, who was so gracious in ensuring that we had access to this remarkable channel. And thank you for the work that you do, Sharon, and you, CG, and Dr. West. All the very best to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Before we go, CG, I would just like to extend an invitation to the Diaspora members attending to join us on the 14th, if you arrive by then, at 7:30 for our worship service at St. James Parish Church. We would love to have you there.
Excellent. That you mean on the June 14th for the Diaspora?
June 14th
right.
at 7:30 in the morning.
Okay.
Wonderful.
And can you just put in the chat, how do people support you? Is there a link or anything that they can reach out, those who are so led?
What we could do, we could include the bank account numbers that we're using specifically for the restoration work of the church.
Okay. Or a phone number that they could call you directly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you could put that in the chat before we close off here. Thank you so much to both of you for joining us. And
yeah, I want to give a shout out.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, I'd like to give a shout out to Mark Davis in California. Thanks. And Attorney Fullerton, Honorary Consul for Jamaica in Houston, is also on the call. Thank you for coming. And with that, I know it's on the hour. We have Kadia Francis with her hand up. But Kadia Francis, if you want to put your question in the chat, you can do that. In the meantime, we can think of someone for closing prayer.
Hi, good. Well, it's 2:00 in Jamaica. I'm not sure what time it is where everybody else is, but hello, hi. This is my first time joining. My name is Kadia Francis. I'm the editor-in-chief of Jamaicans.com. Thank you, Xavier, for sending the invitation. I didn't know that this was a thing that happens. Hi, CG. How are you?
Hi.
Long time no see.
Good to see you.
It's good to see Miss Thomas on the call, because I've been trying to get through to you for the longest while, Miss Thomas, to do a story on your organization. I've been reaching out to you via email, but I'm not sure if you're seeing it. So good to see you, and I got the information. This was great. As I said, I didn't know that this was something that existed. There was so much information that has been shared here that I would love to write about for Jamaicans.com. We have a very big diaspora audience, and I'm sure a lot of the information that has been shared here, especially about the church and the different sporting activities, etc., I'm sure these are things that our audience will also want to participate and support. And so I will encourage anybody who's interested in having a write-up on our platform and this information shared in our newsletter. Our newsletter goes out tomorrow, so if you get in touch with me today, I can put some of this in the newsletter just to spread the information.
Can you put your number? You have your number in the chat?
I'll drop my email and my telephone number in there. Since I'm in Jamaica, you can just WhatsApp me. That's fine. Yes. Or you can email me.
Because I'm sure you have put the 5K in there.
This is a great platform.
I'm sure you have the 5K in there, right? The 5K.
You see the shameless plug.
If I have the what?
I'm sure you have the high five in your newsletter.
What's happening with High Five? We always talk about High Five, CG. You know this.
Jamaicans.com is a website. The link is in the chat. The link is in the chat for anybody who needs
that was so the wrong response.
I'm sorry if I missed something. I'm sorry, but CG knows that High Five is something dear to us over here. So
good comeback.
Listen, we actually the High Five actually won 2 years in a row.
Yes,
the
at our Best of Jamaica.
Best of Jamaica
Yes.
award for
Before I go,
Fort
shout
Lauderdale.
out to Marlon Hill. Marlon is a really special person in Diaspora, and I want everybody to acknowledge all the work that he has been doing. When it was Hurricane Melissa, Marlon was the first to reach out to us to say, hey, let's do something to invite people to have this conversation. And we had 2 sessions with Marlon on our platform, bringing everybody together from the UK, the USA, Canada, to talk about the different initiatives. So big up yourself, Marlon. And thank you to everyone. And this was a great show. Thank you.
Thank you, Kadia. Thank you so much.
Katie, I remember
And McIntyre Pike, good to have you on the program as well. Stalwart in the tourism industry. Just have to acknowledge her before we wrap up. Yes, thank you, everybody. And, you know, I want to acknowledge my co-host for always keeping us in line with time. We were a little over, we're 5 minutes over. And yeah, we're gonna end. The idea is to have it within an hour, so you can plan for it. We'll finish within the hour. But thank you all for joining us. We appreciate your time and your efforts, your contributions, making a difference in people's lives. And again, thank you for joining us. I give the final word to my co-host, Dr. Jones.
Yes. We want to close in prayer. Carolene Rose, or you have somebody in mind, or?
No, go ahead.
I can call on Carolene Rose.
Carolene.
We
Is
have
that
to
Carolene
unmute.
with a C or Carolene with a K?
K-A-R.
Unmute.
Thank you, Carolene. Or is she unmuted?
Yep.
All right, there we go.
Not unmuted. She's not unmuted.
Speak. We can hear
Unmute
you.
Jason. Yeah.
Okay,
unmute.
here we are. First, just awesome meeting, and I just want to thank God for such an awesome, informative, educated, and just a wealth of knowledge and information that some or most of us may not have or know that is available to us. Thank you for our Consul General for just being the visionary leader of this and knowing the direction that he has, and allow him to bring the right people at the right time for the right moment so that we all can hear and participate. We thank you for all those who made it on, and for those who did not able to make it on, that they'll be able to go on to the YouTube channel, Lord, and be able to receive and update themselves on what they missed out on. Let us continue to grow and give us the strength to continue this and all other avenues and all the organizations that have participated, Lord. You know their work that's out there that they're doing. And we know that you, Lord, will continue to guide, direct, and give them the resources and allow them to receive these resources that they need to help their community grow. We thank you, we love you, and we bless each and every one as they go. Be safe out there. In the precious Son, Lord's name, we give thanks. Amen and hallelujah.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. I see Rowan Green posted a flyer in the chat.
So Rohan has just posted on the 25th of April, the Jamaica Ex-Soldiers of Association in Atlanta chapter is having their fundraising walkathon at the Alexander Park, 800 Old Snellville Way in Lawrenceville, Georgia on the 25th. There isn't a website on here, but there's a scan, and you can call 678-222-6638 to be a part of this. This will, of course, prepare you for the 5K, that high 5K that's happening in Atlanta on the 9th of May. And
Yes.
here, Atlanta, here, South Florida reached 850, so we need to reach 900. Simple, right?
All right. Ron had his hand up, but yes, you said everything, so that's great. Thank
Don't
you.
forget to support the Meadowbrook robotics team that's in Houston and need that transportation to get around and come back with a medal to Jamaica. So please donate to that cause.
So, Carolene, let's do this. If you have donate information, put that in the chat.
It's in the chat.
It's in the chat.
With Dr. Jones, so we can have like an extra conversation about it, so we can really know what's going on.
Yeah.
On another date.
Well, you see, they're coming in on the 25th, so we have 5 days because we just learned about it. Yes, they're going to be on the 27th, so we need some money for transportation to get them around Houston. They're on the north side, and they're going to the Georgia Brown Convention Center, which is challenging. and we need some help with that. So please, if you can give some donation, please send it to the Jamaica Foundation of Houston. It's in the email, we'll sell it. Whatever you can donate, if you want to sponsor the whole thing, we're looking about at least about $1,500 to get this going, because you have to get a driver, gas, and all of that to get it going. The food is covered, so thank God. I'm gonna give a big shout out to that. The restaurants, Cool Runnings, Lovebird, and Golden Crust has covered all their meals while they're here. So we just need the transportation. So your support, I really need that. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for
Pauline
joining.
Reed. Next week, we talk about the museum. All right. But thank you all for joining us.
All right. Take care.
Big respect to everybody who came through. And like we said, go to the YouTube channel for what you missed. Thanks again to Jamaica Consul General Oliver Mair and his co-host, Dr. Nicole Bent-Jones, for the weekly Jamaica Diaspora updates.